time. Gosh, I feel like we were just on. We were 3 hours ago. We told you it was a big, big day. A 2 hour show this morning with a bunch of food and friendship and real estate. It was a great show. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. But now we're going to have a lot of fun. You see, Connie, we are now in her home, Connie Bourgeois with Conjetta Designs. Hopefully you had a chance to see the show that we did with her when she was in our studio doing the backstory. I love to do just that. She's the founder and CEO of Conjetta Designs. And we're going to introduce you to her staff. We're going to tell you everything that you need to know about her brainchild. So first of all, thanks for having us here.
Of course, we are so happy you guys came.
This is going to be a lot of fun because for those of you that saw the show with Connie and you're like, okay, I'm still trying to figure out how it all works. That's what this is about. We get a chance to break it all down. First of all, what are you wearing? This is gorgeous.
Thank you. The dress is from 40 Elephants.
Oh, it is.
Kirkwood.
Which you just did a collaboration with them.
Exactly. I love to support local, boutiques and designers. So this is a vintage dress from there, and my belt is from another vintage collector.
Looks like Wonder Woman.
This came from Eve's Apple Vintage.
I love it. So as soon as I walked in, I'm like, of course, she looks fashionable. So for those that don't know your background, we'll just do this a little briefly because I would prefer that you go back and watch the full show. We can drop it in for you a little bit later when she gives the whole backstory. But with fashion, pretty much your whole life.
Yeah, my whole life I've been
She came
obsessed.
out of the womb and said, fashion.
Pretty much, yeah. I have early memories as a child, taking Barbie clothes apart and refashioning them. And so it was definitely an early thing.
Yeah, it called her, right? We always think of the God winks that are out there and which way we follow in life. You started Conjetta Designs how many years ago now?
About 5, in 2020.
Yeah. Right during the pandemic.
Yeah, great time to start a business.
I was just going to say, but you kept it going, and that's the key.
Yeah.
So we did say this before, but I want to bring it back to the table. This is not where you come in. It's not a retail shop. That's
Correct.
what we're going to explain to you today. You do, however, a couple of times a year have it to where it's open and you just did that actually.
Yes, we do private shopping events from time to time. We have a public sample sale once or twice a year. But we are considering opening on Saturdays for some shopping throughout the holiday season. I know this was kind of just something we decided this week. So we will keep you posted on those details.
Oh yeah, definitely let us know because then we can pass it along to everybody. So for all of you that are watching right now, if you are at lunch and you're just kind of scrolling through your phone, you're like, hey, wait, what's this? We're going to give you this breakdown. If you have to run back to work, come back to this. It's the beauty of streaming, right? So you can watch live, you can watch later throughout the weekend. Share it also with your family and friends. So you may have heard me say how much I loved what was at this one particular wall. So these are your fashions.
Yes.
These are your designs.
Exactly. Yeah. So behind us is my line, which is kind of a side project, but of course I'm a designer, I can't help myself.
No.
So it's a women's luxury outerwear and sweaters, so cashmere coats and cashmere sweaters, great fall colors, classic and timeless is kind of where I'm going with it, so that
you nailed it.
Exactly, you invest in a nice coat and you'll wear it for years and years to come.
Absolutely. And then I talked about this when I first came in here, Connie. Again, Connie Bourgeois, Conjetta Designs is where we are, down in the city in Lafayette Square. Hats, I'm so happy, are back. And I hope they stick around for a long time. Are you hearing that from a lot of people? Like, oh, I want to put a hat with my outfit.
Yes, definitely seeing hats come back. They're trending again, and I'm super excited. Hats of all kinds, trucker hats, baseball caps, bucket hats. I saw a lot of those this summer.
Yep.
And of course, the ranchers, which is one of my favorites.
I agree with that. When we were in here last, you were talking about the biggest mover from a color standpoint. What are people being drawn to as we head into the fall?
Yeah, so when we did our trunk show at 40 Elephants, I sold so many burgundy items that everybody was really into burgundy, and I mean it's a color that looks good on almost everybody, so I can see why.
It's just very rich looking. I just came back from Mexico and couldn't wait to get the white off of my nails and then go to this. Right?
So pretty, yeah, perfect for fall.
Absolutely. So you do have, and again, as you'd said, because you are so busy helping others with their branding and their merchandising, but you still have that itch to, I still want to design. So this is yours, but you also carry some other brands.
Yes, so we actually, the primary bulk of our business is that we design and manufacture for other businesses. So there's a couple of those examples behind us. 2 of these are local businesses and one is based in California. Clementine's artisan ice cream. You hopefully have had a chance to taste. It is amazing.
And the original is actually right down the street.
Yes, I live like 2 doors down, and it's very dangerous.
You're going to say that.
So we love working with other local business owners because there's just nothing like getting face to face,
Right.
you know, and being able to talk about designs and, you know, how their business is going. And you can't do that with large companies, and that it's just not, the soul isn't quite there. And so my passion is definitely local businesses.
So if you go back 5 years, who was the very first brand that you worked with? Do you remember?
Yes, it was another company that's located here that is similar to ours that I used to work for.
Oh, really?
So I started this business just a freelance design project.
Yeah, just to say, hey, can I do this? This is my dream. And then,
More or less.
oh, there's a story here. And then from there, decided to break out and then say, hey, this is what I can do. This is what I wanted to stress today. For those that are trying to wrap their brain around everything that you do, I kept telling everybody, like, look, anything that you can think of that you need to really put your brand out there, that's what you do.
Yes, and we really focus on the quality of the product, so you're not going to find, you know, cheap pens and tote bags that are tissue thin. Like we create products that people actually want to use, want
Again
to
and
wear.
again.
Exactly. So businesses that work with us, they also feel very strongly that their branding, their aesthetic, its quality, it's contemporary or fashionable, or, you know, whatever their unique twist is. So we really lean into that to make sure the products that we create, their customers love and they want them.
Right. You're so right, because, you know, people. When I was in radio, people would come and they'd be like, "Oh, we would want some free stuff," and I was like, "Yeah, this is cheap, right? That's not what she's doing. She's got stuff that people are like, oh, wait, I want that. I want to buy that. And hey, when's the next one coming out?"
Exactly. Yes.
You also, I think this is so key. She stressed that when she's working with you, and it is very individual, very customized, and we'll break that all down, because I just went through it with her, and how you have the board out and you're just really brainstorming like you would in a boardroom.
Yep.
But you also help them. You are helping them literally like you're holding their hand to say, okay, this has been out for a bit. Now it's time to discount it down. Now it's time to move and go into a new part.
Yes, we help a lot of our clients with inventory management and understanding, you know, what their sales numbers mean. Most of the businesses we work with, apparel and products isn't really their expertise. So we really try to help them to, you know, if these products, you've got a couple stragglers, let's get rid of them, you know, let's do some promotions. And so we help guide them and coach them on how to do that so that they're still getting revenue from those products, and then they make room for new stuff.
So again, if you're just tuning in, it's an afternoon show, so I hope you're having a great Friday afternoon. The weather is absolutely beautiful. Hope you have a beautiful weekend. And if you are at lunch right now and you're saying, okay, well, I want to know a little bit more about this, whether you are a startup or it's a company that's been around for a while and you're stuck and you're wondering why, well, why? Why am I not getting the traffic that I want? What do you think are some of the biggest problems that you've heard in the last 5 years of why someone is just stuck in their brand?
One of the problems is that they get stuck in high MOQs. You know, to create custom product, most MOQs are, which is minimum order quantity for those who don't know, can be 300 pieces, 500 pieces. That's not realistic for a small business.
Right.
You might need 50 pieces that you'll sell through in a month or two. So we have worked really hard to be able to do that at also an affordable way, because it can sometimes be very expensive to do a small run. So that's something that we are very proud of to be able to offer to solve that problem for our customers.
And obviously that must have come from you doing a lot of networking and finding the right people to work with to be able to do that. Because as I told you, for the longest time, I wanted to do a lot with our brand, and it was, I'm not buying 500 pieces and being kept with all of this.
Right.
So how are you able to be able to do that for the public?
Yeah, so I've been doing this for close to 20 years now, and over the years I've built some really great relationships with all kinds of different suppliers who make many different products, and over the years I've continued to nurture those relationships and kind of convince them to, you know, do smaller orders for me, and they've been very willing to. And also I've spent a great deal of, you know, time and effort to go out and find suppliers that are the right partner that can make high quality products in smaller batches. So I've traveled, I've gone to trade shows, I've gone overseas, I've gone to all the coasts, you know, East Coast, West Coast, to find domestic suppliers as well.
again, if you're just tuning in, we are introducing you to Conjetta Designs. We are here with Connie Bourgeois. Well, we want to introduce you also because every great company is only the best when it's the entire team working together. It's not about it being individual. Mm-hmm. You know that. You couldn't do what you do.
100%. There is no way I could do this without the help of my team. They are amazing.
Again, and that's what I always say, right? I've got Gabriel and Zach working behind the scenes for you to put this show on. For all of you watching live, all of you that watch this later, we couldn't do what we do without our team. So we're going to introduce you to some of our team. We're also going to walk you through this wonderful space, and we're going to break down what it would look like for you to come here and let her take your business to a whole nother level. So we're going to introduce Sarah. We're going to introduce Laura as well. They're coming in with us, and then we're going to break it down of what it looks like. So we are really going to show you, if you were to come in here, you set up an appointment with her, well, what happens once you sit down in this beautiful space? So don't go anywhere. We have more from Conjetta Designs in Lafayette Square when we return. But by the end of this, I want 100% raising your hands. I'm here to empower you because you all have intrinsic value. I don't care if someone has told you that you don't. Today, we are here to make you believe in yourself.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Bonacorsi, and I'm the president and founder of J Bloom. And I chose Monica Adams to be our keynote speaker because of the positivity that she illuminates whenever she speaks. She's an amazing influence and has so much impact on these women that they are going to leave changed.
It's a constant education. Never stop being the leader. If you are given the opportunity to be, and I hate the word boss, by the way, don't we like leader more? Have you all seen that image of a boss shouting behind their team and then the leader out in the trenches? And I know there's a lot of people that are thrown into your paths, and there are people who try to squash your dreams. It could be your partner, it could be your parents, your children, a boss that you've had, but you cannot, from this day forward, I'm going to ask you to not give them power any longer. So we think it, we write it, we hear it. Think right here. Make connections today. Then pave that way. You now have the awareness. So how do you pave that path?
Your message, like at the end, you be anything but before that, be kind.
Yep.
My husband's a pastor, and that every one of his sermons, that's always within it. That be kind.
Yep.
You have to be kind.
It is.
Oh, you're fine.
Look at this. So there's an employee out there who still thinks of you because you were kind to them. Never stop being that leader. By the way, I want to be remembered for this phrase when I'm no longer on this earth. The greatest rewards in life come from the most uncomfortable walk. God meant for me to talk to you. Oh, God meant for me to talk to you. Oh, it's okay. You, honey, have a lot of value. And someone's told you that you don't. And I was meant to be in your life today. I've always said, I have chills. Do we all have chills? God, I say, if you can have me change one person's life, then I have done your job. I'm hoping it's all of you. But see, she's not okay for whatever reason. I don't know your story, but I'm going to tell you they're wrong. And all these women believe in you.
To hire Monica Adams for your next event, email info@therealmonicaadams.com.
And welcome back again, an afternoon show. This is so much fun. I couldn't wait for this. In studio, Connie Bourgeois was with us. Now we're here in her house at Conjetta Designs, again in Lafayette Square. Tell everybody where they can find you, because after this show, when you're like, well, okay, hey, now I get it, and now I need her help.
Yeah, absolutely. We are on all of the big social platforms, so you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn, so you can connect with me there. You can message us on Instagram. You can email. It's just my name, Connie at conjettadesigns.com.
And so again, LinkedIn, I love that you're very active there, because that is where we are all networking. That's where you're really going to help from a business standpoint. And we started going live on LinkedIn about, 6 months or so ago. So for those of your family members who don't want to be on social media, we get it. They can watch on LinkedIn, they can watch on YouTube, they can watch on Rumble, multiple platforms for you. We told you coming into the break that we couldn't do it without our team. Right. So you want to introduce Laura and Sarah for me?
Absolutely. So these are the best women to have behind me. Sarah Clay, she heads up pretty much all of operations, product management, project management as well, design. And then Laura is relatively new, but she has already proven herself over and over again in a short time. And she is also an entrepreneur. She owns her own business as well.
Beautiful.
And Laura handles, brand management, client communication, and things like that.
All right, so ladies, thank you for being a part of the broadcast as well. So before we go into the service highlights and the client board, which we had so much fun doing, did we not? So I was like, oh, I've got more ideas and more ideas and more ideas. Let's talk a little bit more. We mentioned these are the designs by Connie, and then some of the brands that you help out as well. So what do you ladies have here for me?
Sure. So one of our favorite clients is Trish Paytas. She is a LA-based influencer, podcaster, woman of all talents. And we have had the opportunity to work on merchandise for her. So this item very much captures the type of product that we have been able to provide that suits her clientele, her aesthetics. So we've got lots of bling, metallic all over on this patching, the drawstring, custom.
I love the drawstring.
It's fabulous. Custom disco ball, zipper pull.
And what's her name again, Trish?
Trish Paytas, or Trisha Paytas.
So Gabriel, can you find her and tag her for me? How do you spell her last name?
Paytas. I'm like,
T-A-S.
ooh, it's a spelling test.
So this is a good point, though, Connie. So when we look at this, that just screams fun, energetic to me, love. Am I right? Is this her?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So branding is very important.
Absolutely.
Are you putting out the wrong message?
Right.
Right? Or is it, I just got chill for some reason. Or is it, hey, yep, you just nailed it. This is who I am. So I don't know her, but those are 3 words I would use by just what I'm looking at. What else is she trying to say to the public by this?
So one of the things is comfort. She wants people to feel comfortable in who they are, and so we spent a great deal of time making sure the fabric was comfortable, and you can put that on, you can feel great, and it's not, it's a sweatshirt, it's a hoodie, that's basic, but it's not basic.
Right.
We really leaned into the special details, and that is key for her.
And we're going to talk about how I went through when we do the product board in just a second, but it was key to say, okay, yeah, I want people in some of this to be tailored looking and classy, but then, yeah, I want them to be comfortable, but I came back and said, but I don't want sloppy, and you're like, I already got it. I get what you're wanting out there. So I also came back and said, to not mess up a girl's hair, I don't want it to be over there. So this is smart. Let's have it where it zips. There are so many levels of things, right? And then what's this one?
Yeah, so this is just wanted something that's going to be comfortable for their customers that speaks. And then we also and on the front, so it's not as over the top because this is a different customer.
Oh yeah, and that's working out, and hey, and their hair's already sweaty, so they can throw it. And again, these are all the things you have to be thinking about, and it's branding coming and going, right? So, and I love this, by the way. I don't know if you all can see it in the shot, but that's from Plank also, isn't it?
Yes. So Plank is a Pilates studio, and one of their phrases is "badass with a great ass." So we had to put that on a shirt.
And you told me, Connie, which includes myself, by the way, when I saw it, I was like, I so want that. You don't sell this. This is just for ideas.
You can only get it at Plank Studios. So go ahead and check out the Plank Pilates Studio. You will love it.
So if somebody is working out there or they're a member there, they can get that then.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Where is Plank
if
located?
They still have any in stock.
No kidding. Because I would think that would be very popular. Where are they located, by the way?
Yeah, they have a few locations in St. Louis. There's one in the Central West End, there's one in Town and Country, and there's one in Frontenac, I think is the one that we got to go and take a class there when we first started working with them.
I love Pilates.
And they have they've expanded, so they are a St. Louis company, but they've expanded and they have locations in Nebraska and Oklahoma as well.
Oh, congrats. Again, it's because you help them brand.
Yes, another woman-owned business doing big things.
Well, and that's the thing, I did mention that this morning, by the way. Very proud woman-owned, Black-owned, her husband, and veteran-owned, her husband.
Yes.
And again, here for you to take your brand to a whole nother level. But we just said that we can't do what we do without an incredible team. What do you all love about working for Connie?
Oh my
You're going
gosh.
to say, where do I begin?
Yeah. I love that we all seem to have the same energy. We're very much on the same page in terms of how we work with our customers, the processes we go through. We balance each other out in really wonderful ways. And I love that, as Connie spoke to earlier, we work so directly with clients, and it's not this big, mass market. It's really very direct to who these clients are, to what their vision is, and getting to execute that vision for them is so exciting to be a part of that process for everyone we work with. And I know that is a huge high for all of us to really help those things come to life.
Well, and I know I got a chance to work with you, but Laura, with you being new, what you've seen that you've been able to do, just maybe in the short time that you've been together, what are you all most proud of?
I think just the collaboration and bringing a light and that collaborative spirit to the fashion industry. Like, I've seen a lot of the things that Connie is doing for the youth of the fashion industry and the up and coming, and we spoke about that last week when we had a high school summit. We didn't have that kind of support growing up. Connie and I went to college together, and we were talking about how we even found out about fashion, and it was just kind of like we just had to figure it out. And now these kids get that kind of support, and Connie's in the middle of it with many of the things that she does, and that is deeply inspiring to me. I love that she is able to do that and help those kids.
And you're very big on paying it forward, right? Because again, since it didn't exist, it's like, well, now it's here for you. The fashion industry that we have here in St. Louis, we should be very, very proud about. And with all of the up and coming designers, and you mentioned this last time, and I think this is very important to say again, when you think of fashion, you might right away in your mind go into the design aspect. There are so many levels of a team. It's probably the things that you all are not even thinking about that would make you go, oh, well, that's the part I want to do. I want to be behind the scenes. I don't want to be in front, right? It's the same thing of broadcasting. There's so many people that would freak out to ever put a microphone on, but we couldn't do what we do without photographers, videographers, editors, etc. So it's that whole team aspect. From a service standpoint, we want to talk about some of the highlights. Talk about what, as people are getting involved and saying, okay, I now am getting it. I want to know, what can she provide to me?
Yeah, so on top of product design, we also handle the entire manufacturing and delivery process. We can even do fulfillment. So many of our clients are, small businesses, and I don't know where to store this or like how to ship it to, online customers. So we also offer fulfillment. So your stuff can stay with us, and as your orders come in, we'll pack them up and ship them out for you.
Fantastic.
And then we also, like I said, we offer that inventory management. We also offer marketing support. So if we create, a line of products for you, we can arrange to have a photo shoot, either with, the staff. That is usually the best, when your staff is wearing the products and they style it in their own individual way. So we'll do a photo shoot to capture kind of the energy of the brand, the aesthetic of the brand, and then we incorporate that into their marketing plan and their content. And then we also can come in and set up the whole arrangement, because visual merchandising is so important. And that is one of the things I've noticed, that many businesses who don't see themselves as fashion companies, they get merchandise and they don't really know how to display it nicely. So there's a bunch of t-shirts crumpled up in a little cubby in a corner.
I mentioned it last time. I mean, I'm not going to say who, but it's right around the corner. I went in to have lunch and I was like, oh, they've got really fun sayings on their shirts, but they were thrown in a cubby. And first of all, they're all wrinkled up. You can't even see what they're saying. And so some people are like, oh, well, suddenly I started selling. Well, yeah, because you put it out there in front of your public.
Right. Exactly. It has to be, merchandised in a way that the the customer, the person that comes in, they're not just there for coffee. Well, they are, but once they see the stuff on, the mannequins or the rack and it's all arranged nicely and it gives them ideas on how to wear, then that changes the dynamic. They're excited to buy something. It supports their, their lifestyle and their culture of, coffee drinking or wine or Pilates, what have you. And so that part is really key. And so we help with that.
So from youngest to oldest, your clients that you work with, what's the youngest you have right now? Because we're seeing entrepreneurs in grade school and high school.
Yeah.
And some of them, I know there's different levels of things that she can do with you, but you all need to implement this earlier on in life, right? Because instead of trying to launch something and then you're like, oh, it failed. Well, if somebody like this is able to come in earlier, then you can see, well, this is where you're going wrong, right?
Exactly.
We're seeing young entrepreneurs, and I love that.
Yes. So on our current client roster, I would say the youngest is probably early 30s, but I have quite a few, people who've recently reached out who are in their 20s. I have even had calls with high schoolers who are, wanting to start a fashion brand, and they called me to find out how they can do that. And
do you do internships?
I love that. Yes. We do internships all year long.
Good.
So please reach out if you are a high school or college student looking for some experience. We'd love to have you.
Give them your email again.
Connie, Connie, at conjettadesigns.com.
Yep. She would be fantastic for you all to work with. And then what's your oldest client? Because I like to say never give up in life. There's a reason for that particular question, by the way, is that there are people who literally want to change careers. They're not happy with what they're doing. Don't give up on your dream.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a client who I believe he's probably in his 50s, and he started an accessory line that he'd been dreaming about for years. He comes from the contracting and construction business, and he was a collector of this particular hats. I love hats. So we worked together to create a hat collection for him. They were, produced in Italy with really beautiful quality and craftsmanship. And he'd been thinking about it for decades. So we were so excited to make that come to life for him.
And that's the thing. So I really do I say this regularly on the show, that if you are going through life and it just seems very mundane and you just hate what you do, but you've always had that itch of something that maybe is a hobby that you can turn into your dream. We literally talk about people that are in history that we say, oh, they made it, and then you go back and you look, and they didn't even start until they were 50 or 60, or even, there's one story about someone that started at 70 years old. Well, and for you and I, involved in bodybuilding and fitness, there is a woman, and it just circulated on my social media pages the other day, and it showed two ladies that are in their mid to upper 70s, you probably know who I'm talking about, and she didn't start bodybuilding until she was 50 years old. And it was her picture next to a woman that was very frail, and it all was choices we make on a daily basis, right?
Yeah.
But she had a dream at 50. And here she is inspiring people in their 70s. So I go to that because I want you to understand that at any point you can, again, follow that dream. And then when you're following it, you need some assistance. Branding is for every single business that's out there. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the board, which I think was one of the most fun things. Where is the board? We're going to get it out.
We'll roll it out.
We're going to roll the board out. What is the board all about? Well, you got to stay tuned. We're going to have more with Laura and Sarah and Connie and myself here at Conjetta Designs in Lafayette Square, so don't go anywhere.
Thankful to Monica for having me on the show here today. I just love having the opportunity to try and help other people. There are a lot of people in my life that were there for me in my time of need, and that was important for me today to talk to Monica about that. You can get low and then work yourself back up to where you want to be. And people around you can help you do that. Surround yourself with the right people. That's what Monica tries to do here with this show. In fact, I know that's what she wants to do, is she wants people that are like-minded to help each other, to point each other in the right direction, to lift each other up, not put each other down. It was amazing for me to sit in here and talk with Monica, and hopefully it helps somebody along the way. I know that every show that she puts on is fantastic. It's worth your while to be tuning in every single day. Don't worry about some of the negativity around the world, whether it's on TV and this, that, the other. Tune in here to Monica and let her tell her story as well as her guests tell their story. There's always something that you can get from somebody else. And if you pick up just one little thing that helps you, that makes this a success. And that is why I'm here with Monica today.
And welcome back again. Hope you're having a great lunchtime as you're kind of scrolling through your phones. Feel free to drop in comments. We'll see them later. We're visiting right now, and you are immersed in, one of my favorite things is fashion. So that's why I couldn't wait to work with Connie. Connie Bourgeois, the owner, the founder, the CEO of Conjetta Designs. Again, go back and watch the backstory about Connie and what brought her to this dream. She opened this 5 years ago. We're also visiting with her team. Sarah and Laura are with us as well. So we had a chance. My friend Michelle and I came. Michelle was with me for a year and a half, and I thought about it and thought, when you come and you meet with this team, I would highly recommend that you bring someone with you because, as you know, Michelle was like, oh, what about this? I ended up texting clients of mine saying, what do I say to you to inspire you, to keep you going in personal training or life coaching? They brought things to the board because sometimes we think we see the whole picture, and then other people that are around us are like, well, you completely forgot this, right? So do you encourage people to bring a couple people that are very close to them to say, hey, I'm going to help you with this? And then you obviously are helping them with their brand.
Yes, absolutely. We oftentimes clients will come with a trusted family member, a friend, to just not only help give them ideas, but to help them remember everything because we do a lot in a short period of time, and it's always great to have friends and family there to support.
So if you are just tuning in, Conjetta Designs helping you with every aspect of your brand, to put your brand out there, ideally from day one, so that you're really branding correctly, and you're not saying, here I am a year or two later, what's wrong? And then she's having to correct issues. Right. So again, even if that's the case, she can do that for you. Would you say that your clients that come in, the most fun part is the board?
Yes, so that is such a fun, it's just very collaborative brainstorming, and we just put all the ideas down. We dive into who is the customer, who is going to be wearing this or using this or buying this, and we need to really understand that person. And so we write everything down. It's just a brain dump, and then we distill it and figure out what is this, what is solidifying from all of these things.
And so again, it is very in-depth. I don't want it to, in your mind, think, oh my gosh, is it overwhelming? No, it's actually a lot of fun. Yeah. What do you enjoy most about the board? And again, there's a dry erase board, then there's the vision board, because that really is, you're creating the vision of the company.
Right.
Small company, medium, large, etc. Yeah. What do you enjoy most about the board?
I love maybe surprising the clients with some of the products that we can do, because a lot of the time we think about apparel items, which is definitely our strength, but then we can also offer a variety of other non-apparel items, whether it's pet toys or... I
was like, we can't forget the dogs and cats.
Yes, exactly.
Or horses.
Yeah. Dishware.
Kitchen towels. The sky is sort of the limit, quite honestly.
Yep.
And so that's really fun, is to think about, okay, well, who are the people that are your brand, and what are the type of items that they would be drawn to and want to have a reminder of you, of your brand in their home and their daily lives.
Yeah, and that's very true because these ladies, they said, okay, so Monica, who do you think would be purchasing these items? Who watches you? So we look at demographics. We do that on a regular basis, right? In media, when I was in TV and radio, it was like, okay, so we dropped a little bit here. Why? Why do we think that happened? Or, oh, now we've got 18 to 34-year-olds watching instead of 25 to 54-year-olds. So we did. We broke that down. Is it more men? Is it women? Are kids watching? Is it a family unit? And we want something for everybody. Is it pets? I was like, we can't forget the pets. You all, if you drop in things, and again, you can do them here live right now, or you can do it later. I would love for you all to say, when I think of the Real Monica Adams brand, this is what I think about, because it can help all of us, right? So Laura just said yes to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. It's like each person has a different group of people that they're trying to give something special to. And I think, like you, speaking of your brand, it's like pulling out those quotes and putting it on something that is meaningful to them. And then this morning we were talking about another very specific client and thinking about how they show up in the market. Like they're showing up for different events, like how can we cater towards those events and the things that they're specifically doing.
Right.
So it's such a customizable, very specific type of thing that we get to do, and it's pretty magical, actually.
Absolutely, and for all of you that have been a part of the show, and there's a lot of other things to our brand, that was the other thing. You tell me, ladies, I think in the last probably 10 years for sure, I don't know anybody in my circle that has just one job.
Oh, yeah.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Very
so I started that 30 years ago. My dad actually said, Monica, you gotta have a backup to your plan. And I was like, okay, how about a backup to a backup to a backup to a backup? Is that a problem though, when you're trying to say, holy cow, there's a lot to Monica's brand. How do we put all of that together and deliver it to you?
Right. Yeah, it's a challenge that we really love, because ultimately people come to you. Your brand is you. And most business owners, that is how it is. Their branding, how they show up for their customers, the core products that they offer, the aesthetic of, the building or the cafe or wherever they're doing business, it's a reflection of the business owner's vision. So we really try to understand that. And sometimes there's conflicting, parts to that, because we're human, and sometimes we want to look very, feminine and dressed up and pretty, and other times we want to wear comfy sweats.
Yeah.
So we think about the people who are coming to these businesses holistically, not just who they are in the moment buying the coffee, but what are they doing at home? Where are they shopping? What type of job might they have? Or what 3 jobs might they have? So
6. But you know what? So it's interesting that you said that, because if there is something that's so very different from what's over here, I would think that's even more challenging. For us, every part of this brand has to do with what? Pure joy, positivity, hope, inspiration, kindness, that it really does all feed together, which then I think makes it easier. This is an important part. Again, if you're just tuning in, yes, it's an afternoon show. You normally see us on in the morning, but this is called Mobile Monica, where we take the show on the road and we come and we showcase businesses like this. So Connie Bourgeois, she is the founder, the CEO of Conjetta Designs, but it's what these women can do to help you level your brand up. Again, Sarah and Laura help her with that. It makes me go back to the movie, which I absolutely love, and I am so excited that there's a second one coming to it, The Devil Wears Prada. In that movie, I love where, you look at all of the levels of fashion, but then you look at the person, if you've never seen Devil Wears Prada, you look at the person who comes into the magazine, right? And then she's just kind of frumpy, wearing the sweater, and she's acting like, whatever, fashion. It's so like...
frivolous.
Right. And she was like, oh, okay, so you think that I love, that's probably my favorite part of the entire movie is, so you think that color and that belt and all this wasn't thought out. And it goes all the way back to the levels of it. And you get that from what you think might be very small. It's the smallest details that make it all. For you, when I thought we were done with the vision board, it was, hold on, we've got some more, including the tags that you have and the materials in the tag and how it's laying, and does it have something that's embossed? I mean, there are so many levels of what you all have to think about to make that shine, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the small details that really level up a product. And so, when we're making a t-shirt or a sweatshirt, we have to make it special, and not just the fabric, but the branding. And that's also a reflection of the business.
Right.
So we try to do, comfortable tags or tagless, that the look of it is on brand, the hang tag, the quality, the paper texture, they all matter.
Yep.
There's very small details, but they send a message overall about the brand, and it's really important to get it right.
What has been the most challenging for the three of you in the last 5 years? Because I mean, we all, I would think, in some way, some people like bigger challenges and other people are like, oh, I just want to take it little by little. But has any business just really taken you out of your comfort zone?
Yes, quite a few.
Oh, okay. Not just one.
We had an interesting menswear product that was sort of, I don't want to give it away because it's a really unique idea, but we had to get very, very close to the model during the fittings, and a level of professionalism was very important, and we achieved that. But yeah, so we
We achieved that. Woo! Getting spicy.
we can laugh now, but in the moment we were trying to just be
She's like, it's hot in here.
But
Gabriel, what's wrong?
I mean, they have to be fitted.
yeah, exactly.
They have to be fitted. You know what? It's very, very true. And for all of you that you are like, oh, I just love how I feel here, but how do you feel underneath? Right? So it's key. I like that.
Yes.
What about for you all? Anything that's taken you out of your comfort zone?
I think honestly, it's just been the variety of clients makes it really hard to I don't want to say replicate, but every client and every timeline, every story is different.
Yeah.
So we aren't able to have this formula, if you would say, because we're treating everybody individually. So that can be challenging because every project has nuances. It has new concepts that we haven't worked on before, new details we haven't
You
done
enjoy
before.
that, right?
I do, absolutely. But it does make it, every project is so unique that can provide its own challenges.
Yeah.
But we rise to the occasion and we make it
and
work.
and I have to say that is the reason for all of you that are watching and you're thinking, yeah, we've been waiting, which if I had met her earlier, she probably would have said, Monica, you've waited too long. Timing is everything. For all of you, you've been asking for new mugs. I get it because you wake up with us every morning. They have some, but they want bigger ones. I told you that, right? You got to think of like the big mugs on Friends, right? They're sitting at the coffee house. Okay, I get that because the ones we have are smaller. They have the branding of knowing your value, which is our big mantra. But I hear you. And so when I say drop in now, this is the time. But you also don't want to rush. There are people who probably come to you like, okay, I need it tomorrow. Well, that's not going to happen, right?
Yes, actually, one of our biggest clients, that was the situation. She came to us and she wanted 20 really complicated things, and by Black Friday, and it was already, September. So I came back and said, well, we can't do that. That timing is way too tight and these items are way too complex. But here's what we can do. And so I didn't hear from her again for years. So I was like, okay, whatever. Then she came back and said, well, I tried to do it with someone else and it did not go well at all. We didn't get anything on time. The things we did get were not the quality that we wanted. And so she came back and she's now one of our biggest clients and we love working with her.
Timing is everything. I've taught Gabriel, as in the background by the way, I've taught him this as he starts to get into sales and marketing, and I said, unless you get a absolutely positively no, do not ever give up. Right?
Yep.
And it's all about timing. I've told them that we've got people who booked a Mobile Monica a year and a half because it wasn't that time. We've got a person I'm talking to actually today. It's all about that. It's a year and a half later. Now it's like, let's do this. Right? So just understand, from a business standpoint, you got to be patient and you do have to work with the right people. By the way, ask in circles where you are excited by what you see with their brand. Who are they working with? I've had 5 people say, oh, I was going to introduce you to Connie. Never mind, you're already there. And I was like, okay, I like this. I'm obviously with the right person. But I knew that once we sat down. What are you, because they like the individual side. What are you all most excited about since we had our own meeting?
Oh my gosh. Well, honestly, the pet toys are really exciting.
See?
And that's what's really great about having clients that can come in and that we get to meet face to face, or even the ones that are not local, that you get to create this like bond.
Yeah.
So Pets so often becomes a thing that like we bond, like there always is a thing that we get excited about. We're on the same page. And so it's like, all right, I love my animals. You love your animals. Like, let's do it. Let's make the product.
Why would
for
we
them.
not?
Yeah.
There's so much in front of you, by the way, that you probably missed that are right there. I mean, literally, I was wrapping up the show today. The two of them were right here by me, just looking up like, okay, Mom, when are you done? Now we get to play with me. So let them brand you. And really, they have become like our children. And so there's so many people that are like, oh, I want leashes or I want little outfits for them. I mean, again, the sky's the limit, but I do want you to think beyond the beauty of what we're wearing. It's, I mean, we've heard a lot of you say, Monica, you light a candle every morning to be the lights that we're looking for in the dark world. So we talked about candles. We talked about what you have when you're baking. I mean, literally, but there might be things that we missed. But I go back to the timing aspect because she asked me right away, is there a timeline in something that you're wanting? And I was like, oh, I'm just, no. Oh, but maybe I should have her go, well, but how long has it been? Well, it's been since last year since we rolled any merchandise out. But I thought, okay, well, but I don't want to rush anything. So maybe from the clothing, it takes a little bit longer. But we said, 750 shows. That's coming between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So that's what I put on the table for them of, let's definitely have something in that time frame. So some things might take a little longer, right?
Right.
But there are other things of, well, we can do this now. Let's give them some ideas of things that maybe they're not thinking of that you all can do. And I'll ask each one of you. So what can you say? This is what we can do that people might not be thinking about.
Home goods.
Yep.
I mean,
It's
it's
huge.
such a good gift opportunity, especially for realtors, especially for housewarming gifts, especially for just to give somebody something that they're going to use anyway. It's so thoughtful. We can do that. It's something that I was really surprised that we do as I came onto the team and started learning all of the different categories that we worked on. Home goods, it's really incredible. So,
Perfect. Home goods. What about for you?
Well, we talked about candles, and actually, since you were here, we started exploring that, and so that's something that we can talk about more. And we've like, well, let's find somebody local that we can work with to have a partnership. Because if you're, wanting to test scents, you can't. Working overseas, which is what typically happens, is that doesn't work for us in the situation. So that was an exciting new prospect to explore and to look for local partners.
Local.
Yeah.
What about for you?
I love the fact that we can create almost anything. There's a few categories that I won't mess with. Formal wear and swimwear. But aside from that, I am the type of person that I love a challenge. So if you come to me and say, I want, this thing, I've never seen it anywhere, it's an idea in my head, I'm gonna go to work and see, okay, let's sketch it out. How does this work? So we're currently working on a few things like that right now that we've never made before and I've never seen in the market.
Okay.
So it's very exciting to me to be able to bring a new product to market with a client and turn it into a reality.
Well, let me ask this to go back to what you just said about a minute or so ago. Why not formal wear or swimwear?
Those are very specific types of construction and I know so many great designers that specialize in that, and so I would tell, and I can refer people to those designers. I like to be, instead of a jack of all trades, master of none, which we do a lot, so we're kind of that, but there are some categories that I just know it's going to take us a long time to get it right. And it's going to take a long time for us to get the quality right and a long time for us to find the right supplier because we just don't currently have suppliers in those categories.
The reason I asked it is for all of you to understand, go with your strengths, work on weaknesses, but know that you network. And so right away, if somebody asks me, hey, Monica, I need to go to a doctor for an orthopedic. Right, got it right away. Hey, I want to go to a good esthetician. Got it right away. Good massage therapist. Got it right away. I went in my head to someone who we're going to feature actually in December, My Beloved Bridal.
Oh, great.
You know her?
I haven't met in person.
Okay, so she's fabulous, and there are so many seamstresses that work with her. She helps pretty much every bridal place in our area, as well as her own custom side. So it's important to understand that, yes, there are people who have unbelievable strengths in something. Let them do it and refer, and then they're going to refer back to say, well, I don't do that, but Connie does that.
Exactly.
Right? That's when it's not about jealousy. It's not about saying, oh, they're not taking away. You can't take care of everyone in the world. There's a lot of people, right? So and that's where businesses work the best together. That, again, if somebody is copying you, right, it's the greatest form of flattery, right? But work together.
Yes, I mean, it's community over competition.
Yes.
And that's
Drop the mic.
something.
That's a soundbite.
Yeah, and that's something that in the fashion industry it hasn't always been the case, but I'm very passionate about that. We can all lift each other up, and you know, rising tides lift all boats.
Amen, amen. Okay, so besides this, and then, so looking at the board, before we go and we kind of showcase the rest of this place, because when you come in as someone that she's going to work with, you will go through the board, and then she'll show you every level of what's here and how the whole team is working together for you. But so everybody understands, it is a process of what you're going to go through. Tell them about some of the questions that you're asking, whether it's this visualization board or it's a dry erase board, the levels of what they need to know when they're coming in. You got to carve out some time. It's not like, here, I got about 30 minutes. Nope, that's not going to work.
Yeah, it's a lot about thinking of, you know, like we talked about before, who is your customer? Who are you trying to create these items for? Who are you? Who is your brand? And really thinking about the demographics of all of that. And then what's your aesthetic? You know, we talked about your blue. We spent a lot of time looking for that
I was
perfect
just going to go there
shade of
because I'm
blue.
looking here at this color card, because for the longest time, I mean, look, she's such a sweetheart. She's like, look, Monica, I found some glasses for us to drink out of that have blue in them. I've got here on our table a logo, but have we ever in our team in almost 3 years ever nailed down the actual cobalt blue that you all call Monica blue? No. It's close, but there's an exact number to it. And once we nail that down, from a branding standpoint, we need to use that. Right?
Yes.
Not a version of it, but that, because it identifies you. That's Monica blue. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's key. And then it's not just the rising color, it's the support colors. So then it becomes, well, what else are you drawn to?
Absolutely.
And then it's all of that fills in the blank. So that's
Right.
kind of like this color card here.
Right.
Oh,
Yes.
dachshunds, dogs.
Yes, there you go. There you go. Yeah, absolutely. You want to, because you don't want to have everything in the same shade of blue. That's not exciting.
Right.
You know, you want to have variety. So it's figuring out the whole brand, you know, the depth of it.
Right.
So this board, for example, is a client that we're working with that's based in LA.
Okay.
And you can see that his branding is very specific when it comes to color. Now, granted, this is a working board. This is not, you know.
Everything's a work in
It's
progress.
always working.
Yeah.
So a lot of his design work, his prints, all come back to the same palette. And that's really
I don't
important.
know if you all can see this and why I don't have Tourette's. It says dachshund.
It's the name of the brown color.
Dachshund brown right down here.
Right. So this board is really showing, does everything come together?
Yeah.
Is there consistency?
This particular company, what is this company?
So it's called Extraño, and it's a designer based out in LA. He started with a shoe, actually.
Oh, okay.
He's a shoe designer,
Okay.
and then that's where everything built from.
Yep.
And so his shoe falls into this color card, and it's really important that there be great print and pattern and special details, but in a very different way from the Trish Paytas item that we looked at before. And it's been wonderful because he does have a very strong vision, and we've been able to take his vision and then work on actually making it happen for him.
That's a good point, by the way, because one of the things that Connie stressed was people can be as hands-on as they want, and if you're involved in fashion like I have been, I got all excited about, okay, let's look through some things. But other people might be like, I literally just want you to help me, and I trust you, right?
Yes.
If you looked at percentages of those two, what would you say your percentages are?
I would say right now we probably have about 40% clients who are really not hands-on at all.
Okay.
we show them CADs and pricing, and they say, yes, I want that, and then they tell me how many they want. It's super easy, and then we deliver them.
Okay.
We have other clients, so the rest of our clients are pretty hands-on, and they love being involved in the process. They love feeling fabrics and trying on the samples and making edits and tweaks. So, every client's different, and we try to match their energy and how often they want communication. So if you don't want to hear from us until your stuff is ready, that's fine. If you want to talk to us every week for updates, that's fine.
Don't text her at 3 o'clock in the morning, though.
Yeah, please don't.
Just don't
Only
respond.
China gets to do that.
I'm
We get the
talking to
message
China.
overnight.
That's true. Before we take a break, so yeah, you just mentioned that, by the way. You are working with people all over the world. What do you see maybe in the last decade as being an area that maybe has been untouched that you're excited to work with? Because people used to always think China or Italy, et cetera. I started hearing people say, well, you should look into India. You should look into Indonesia, right? So where are your biggest sources coming from?
Yeah, and you mentioned India, and they're definitely one of our big ones. Good. We go to them for lots of, cotton-based products, embroidery, or handwork. Like we do lots of baskets or rattan, bags, which I sold a lot of those recently.
Awesome.
And they're all handmade in India with natural fibers. And then we still do business in China. They are really, really good at complex details. So a lot of that bling that you saw, there's really nowhere else that we can get that done.
Okay.
So we go to the places that have the strengths for the product that we are trying to create. We also have done business in Italy and the United States as well.
Oh, I was just going to say made in the USA, because people are proud of that more and more and more. You have to understand, though, and we get there's a change. There's the whole tide that might be changing, hopefully, trying to do more in the USA. But when it comes to businesses, trying to keep costs down for you, that's why you have to outsource sometimes.
Yes.
We are going to take a break. When we come back, it is not only the visualization aspect of this, but as we said at the beginning, the entire team that puts everything together to help your branding. So we're going to do a walkthrough for you of Conjetta Designs, which is where we are right now. We'll tell you everywhere that you can find Connie and her team, where to follow again on social media, and then how you can make your own appointment like we did. We're excited to be rolling out some things for you very, very soon. Conjetta Designs, more with Connie and Laura and Sarah when we return. Welcome to the mobile Monica version of the real Monica Adams Show at my favorite restaurant. There's something about a coffee house that's just very warm and
community.
What are you most proud of since you've opened it?
I cry easily. I'm thankful for everybody here.
You opened the door during the middle of the pandemic. You got the best Italian restaurant in the United States. Here in St. Louis, you put us on the map. Does it scare you? You go through fear?
Terrifying.
So how do you get past the fear?
We find something to laugh about.
I was just on the Real Monica Adams Show, and it was really a good experience for me. When I walked in, the building is just peaceful. The environment is beautiful here. Monica really made me feel welcome.
The Monica Adams Show allows people to be themselves. It's really important to share kindness, to be real, to offer stories and things that will give people hope and a reason to smile.
Rather than waking up aggravated, disappointed, and wondering, where's this earth going? Choose to wake up with something that'll put your mind and your heart in the right direction. Start with Monica.
This is my wonderful role model, one of my best friends.
She's, oh my gosh, you got a long life. You could probably live to be 130 or something. And I said, oh God, I hope not.
It's getting hot in here. Don't take off all your clothes.
I'm not going to take off my clothes. On the radio tape, going to be
Kansas City, Kansas City, here I come. We're gonna speak
We're not going to spank anybody. We are going to speak about knowing your value. And then I'm going to...
I'm going to spank them.
If you don't know your value and you don't grab hold of how important you are, I'm going to spank you.
Folks, you never know what you're going to get with her. Well, welcome back. We are in the wrap-up of our Mobile Monica here at Conjetta Designs. Again, we've been featuring Connie Bourgeois. She is the founder, the CEO of Conjetta Designs. Hopefully now you have a little better understanding of what she can do for you, and you want to go more in depth, then you reach out to Connie and have your individualized meeting and your brainstorming session, all of that. We wanted to take you through and showcase just some ideas of some things, but as Connie said, you dream it, she'll build it for you, right? If you build it, they will come.
That's right.
So let's walk through and actually show, because earlier Sarah was mentioning from a home goods standpoint, here's some ideas. I mean, you can think of aprons, you can think of, we love wine, by the way, right? We do Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. So from a wine standpoint, you might think of, hey, I want to put my wine in something. We were talking about candles, we were talking about coffee mugs, or again, baskets, things like that, as well as obviously clothing, etc. So Connie, take us through some of that, and then we're going to talk about the whole rest of this place, which if you come here, this is the walkthrough you'll get.
Of course, yeah. So we love to showcase the various products that we can make in our showroom. We also sometimes, for our private shopping parties, you'll see a few pieces there that we source from trusted vendors. Moving along to our t-shirts. So these are some St. Louis themed t-shirts that we've done that have been very popular. And
by the way, you might recognize that blue sweater right there because I bought it.
That's right. And then moving behind the scenes, we're going to show you our offices. So this is Sarah's office. She does so much creative and operational work out of here. And of course it's pink because we are mostly all women here. And moving along to my office, which I did clean up for all of you today. You are welcome. And I have a sofa in here because I want people to be comfortable when we're chatting and going over details of projects. And I've got Post-its on the wall to keep me on task.
We need organization, do we not?
Absolutely.
So again, how many staff members do you have here?
So we have 5, I think, yeah, 5? No, 6, including myself. But today a few of them are working from home.
Sure.
So that room there is where all of our work in process pieces are. So these are projects that we are currently working on. There are samples we've recently received that we need to measure and analyze. Lots of different things there. We have uniforms, we have sweatshirts, t-shirts, jerseys, all kinds of things. And we can do lots of activewear. So this is now the designer's room. So we have a graphic designer. We have Laura, that's her desk right there. There's Jaya. And Jaya is an intern that we recently hired. She comes in a couple days a week to help us with projects.
So as far as, we already talked about the branding. We talked about you obviously founding it. We talked about head of operations. What are the other titles that people have here? So that they can understand what all goes into Conjetta.
Sure, so we're pretty small, over the years. So we have Sarah, like I mentioned, she's head of operations, myself. Mostly I do sales, I do just meeting with clients, networking, and just getting our name out there. Laura, she is the brand coordinator, so she reaches out to brands that we're working with. She keeps communication on task. Then Emily is a graphic designer. Then, like I mentioned, Jaya, she is helping mostly with technical design work. And Alana, who sits at the desk across from Jaya, she's been helping with a bit of everything. She's an intern right now, and she has been absolutely amazing. She does technical design, she preps artwork for, factory production. And then we also have a few contractors that do specialized projects, like we have a sweater expert that we reach out to when we're doing complicated knitwear. We also have an activewear technical designer that has years of experience in activewear. And my history in bodybuilding, of course, I have lots of opinions on activewear, so I wanted to make sure we had an expert to make sure that those were amazing and high quality.
Let's talk about that. Connie, come on back here. So we're going to come back on camera as we wrap things up. That is a very key point to talk about, and it's one of the things that you and I discussed. If you just tuned in, and again, a lot of you are going to get a chance to see this later because you are working, and I don't want to get you in trouble with your bosses, but this is why we are always talking about sharing like crazy. All of us are going to share it on all of our pages. That's the beauty of streaming. Some of you can watch live. Some of you caught it a little bit for right now, but a lot of people, they get home and they watch this, and then obviously that's when we see the numbers go up. So we have the beauty of you interacting sometimes when you can live. And if you did and you were in the past saying, yeah, I thought you were going to have workout clothes. Absolutely, 100%. It wouldn't make sense not to. I've been a trainer since 1999, but the reason I haven't, and she will attest to this, what did I tell you? Do you remember?
Quality was of the utmost importance, and they have to be squat proof.
Seriously. I mean, come on. And it's so, and look, guys don't get this, all right? You really don't. Women, they want to feel confident.
Absolutely.
We are working out. You are carving your masterpiece. We are helping you as a trainer. But if you feel uncomfortable, you already do because you're trying to lose weight. Then you're uncomfortable when you're in the gym, you're hiding. I don't want you to hide. I want you to feel strong, empowered, and confident in the clothes. The people I was working with in the past, I don't know who they were working with overseas or whatever, but we would get these samples in, and I'm like, no, that is not at all what I was put in front of me. I would say embarrassed by what it was, so that's why you've never seen it out. In fact, my clients, they have, now I will take this back. The sports bras, I think were pretty. The great colors, they were fine. Not the pants. In fact, I told all the girls, don't you ever wear that out because it has my logo on it. Right? And then when they're see-through, right? She was like, oh, is it the white? And they just dyed it? Yes. Yeah. And as soon as you squat, it was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, you see all the white coming through because the color's only on the front surface.
And again, some of the girls were like, oh, no, I like it. I'm like, I do not. Right? And so you have high standards and you want to put that forward. And so she's going to deliver that for you. So yes, when it comes to that, we will have workout clothes. We talked about from a men's standpoint. We had some, my husband actually was wearing it last night. They're great. We were supporting a local company that supports our first responders, by the way, which I loved. So I don't dislike our t-shirts, our long sleeve shirts, our jackets that we had for the guys. But one of the things that I said I think will move better, you all, men, whether you play golf or not, you like to wear a golf polo.
Absolutely. Golf shirts have been really trending off the golf course for a few seasons now, and lots of fun patterns and colors and prints. So I'm really excited to dive into that and make it yours.
Yes, and so we are not going to leave any stone unturned. Men, women, kids, pets, you name it, home goods, like we'd said. So one more time. For you to take your brand to that next level that you've been waiting for, Conjetta Designs is where I want you to come. Tell them one more time, Connie, where they can find you, and then like how far out do they need to book to start setting up a meeting with you?
The earlier the better, especially, we're a small team, so we do book up sometimes, but we're going to need minimum 2 months, maximum 6 months, depending on what we're making for you. So keep that in mind. Apparel takes a bit longer because our quality is so important to us. So we make sure we see a sample of every single thing before it's produced, and we want our clients to have the opportunity to see it and feel it and touch it. And that does take a bit more time.
So we're in October, almost the middle here. If somebody's wanting something around Christmas time, you could maybe?
Probably not, because we're going to be busy with your project, Monica.
Sorry, it's all about me.
No, but right now we're mostly focusing on spring.
Okay.
So if you have a vision, we can get started now, and you're looking at more of probably a spring delivery.
There's nothing else to say. That was just awesome. No, Monica, you're keeping us busy. No, but it's also the reason why we said she's not just going to throw something out there. That really is a true testament to a very smart businesswoman of, I would love to say yes, but I'm not just going to put something out there.
Exactly.
Right? So I love that. I love that about you. Again, thank you, ladies, for coming in and being a part of this. To all of you, share this. Again, if you're at work and you're just kind of scrolling through, I get it. You got to go back to work. But watch this later. You're going to have some time this weekend and share this with your family and friends. And again, let's get the word out there about what Conjetta Designs can do for you. We mentioned, by the way, it is going to be a very busy weekend. Tomorrow, it's going to be a gorgeous day. I'd love to see you out at Defiance Ridge Vineyards. Just a little after 11 o'clock, we are going to be broadcasting live. Phenomenal wine, phenomenal food, and great music. I think Trixie Delight is going to be playing at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's a really fun time. I know October is really busy for all of you to go to wineries. So pick Defiance Ridge. That's where we do our Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. Now we've taken it from Wednesday and we're going to do a Saturday show. So expect it to be packed, and please come up and say hi. I'd love to give you a big hug. Sunday, I am working for our first responders. We are going to be donating our time from noon to 5 at Trattoria Giuseppe. In the Antonia Imperial area. He gives a huge percent of the proceeds to Responder Rescue, which is an organization that steps in when our heroes are killed or injured in the line of duty. And that's the key, because many of them can't return to work when they have a serious injury. So we are giving back to them on Sunday. So a big weekend ahead. We'd love to see you out and about. If we can't and you stay at home, that's fine. Just make sure that you take care of yourself. Self-love is everything. But the greatest thing that we can tell you in life that you can be is kind. So God bless you all, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow morning.